Lads, we are in a lot of trouble. It seems that the penalty we received in India will not be removed after this incident right here.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Basically, the FIA thought I was at fault for spinning out Vettel after my car had already been spun by him. I had completely no control over my car, and Vettel spins out as a result, and we get the penalty, and Vettel gets nothing for initiating that incident right there. So, unfortunately, we still have a massive gap loss to Lewis Hamilton in the standings, but here in Abu Dhabi, we're going to have to try and do our best to get up as high up the field as we can. We've qualified on the primes here, and then we're going to run options for the rest of the race, and maybe a set of primes at the end. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to run primes at the very end, because I'm going to run out of option sets. So it's going to be a 4-stop race. The AI will be running 3 stops, but I'm hoping that the better race tyre, the option tyre, will give me some kind of pace advantage over the course of the race to sort of get enough of a margin over the rest of the AI to affect that final pit stop without any dramas. So hopefully we can make this strategy work. We can't afford to make any more mistakes in this championship, otherwise Lewis Hamilton will take the title. Wish me luck. So here we are on the grid of the third last race of the season. We need to make this one count, and away we go here in Abu Dhabi. Looks like the Mercedes have got off to a fairly terrible start, but we maintain 6th place as we come into turn 1 now, almost turning into the path of Raikkonen. Almost the exact same situation we had this time last season, but we get away with it this time around. Now we're trying to battle the 2 Mercedes as we come through the opening sequence of corners here, up into P4 as we dispatch of Hamilton and Alonso. Now we've got to get in front of Nico Rosberg here, coming into the chicane. We leave him room around the outside. Rosberg flies over those curbs, but maintains second place for now, but drops down into 3rd as we pass him coming through the hairpin there. So now we're in the 2nd. It's now time to catch Sebastian Vettel, who is now in the lead of this race on the much faster option tyres. So we need to get in front of him as soon as we can, because if we don't, then he's going to absolutely bolt on those much faster tyres. So coming through the chicane there, and Vettel runs wide. We're going to try and go up the inside, are we? Yes, into the hairpin. Job done. We've got the lead of this Grand Prix, and that is a crucial move for the standings of this race. Here we have a replay of that move there, and just a beautiful clean pass for the lead of the Grand Prix. And that is crucial, because if we didn't have that move executed, then Vettel would have had a massive lead coming towards the end of this first stint. So here we are on lap 11. Vettel has now dropped down the field a little bit here, and I'm just trying to nurse my prime tyres to the very end. Alonso is getting very racy here on the back of me in 2nd place. But I'll be coming in at the end of this lap, putting on a set of option tyres. But meanwhile, I'm just trying to keep this pack of cars right behind me while I can. These prime tyres have absolutely gone off the cliff now in the last couple of laps, and I'm just trying to hold these guys up as much as I can. I'm getting this shit stint out of the way early on so I can put on a set of option tyres for the rest of the race and then absolutely fly. But Alonso, speaking of flying, is now up in a 1st, and we're going to try and counter-attack him coming into this little hairpin chicane here, and we get the move done ever so slightly on Alonso, squeeze him out a little bit, but no harm done there. We're still in the lead of this Grand Prix now, cutting to the end of the lap, coming in for our first pit stop here. Force India, I hope you can deliver me a good pit stop here, because we need to execute this undercut very well. So it looks like there's a Mclaren coming into the pits as well. So it's pretty much going to be a battle of the teams here. Force India, give me a good pit stop. I really need one now. 3.1 seconds. Decent there from Force India. Rejoining on the track, we're going to be outside the points, but that doesn't matter too much. We've got Mark Webber in 11th, as I saw briefly on the timing screen there. And as you can see, I'm in a McLaren sandwich here. Jenson Button is in 10th place. However, he hasn't made his pit stop yet, so he's being outdone by his teammate, you'd have to say. But now cutting to lap 13, we've got Lewis Hamilton and Mark Webber coming in for their first stop now. So they've gone for the overcut, and it really won't work out for them because they've done extra laps on older tyres, and I think they're going to rejoin quite a way down the field, like in the mid-pack. So that's going to be interesting to see where they finish in this Grand Prix. But here we are on lap 21. We've got now Felipe Massa attacking us for the lead of this Grand Prix. My option tyres are now starting to go off as I'm supposed to be coming in a couple laps time now, going around the outside of Felipe into the hairpin, and we get the move done too. So only just hanging on to the lead of this Grand Prix here at the latter stages of this second stint here. And as you can see, the sun is setting here in Abu Dhabi, coming into the end of this lap for another set of option tyres, and it seems that the tyre wear is ridiculously bad for Abu Dhabi, a track that normally isn't that high a tyre wear in real life. It seems that just the marbles and almost the curbs, when you go over the curbs, they send your car sideways, and then the tyres almost superheat, and that almost makes the tyre wear a lot worse. So in theory, this track really isn't that bad for tyre wear, but just the flaws in this game sort of expose the tyre wear a little bit here, so it's a bit unfortunate. But here we are for another pit stop, 3.1 seconds, so Force India very consistent on this game. It's one thing they can do right. But rejoining on the track, position 8, right in front of Mark Webber, who I believe is battling with Lewis Hamilton as well. So we're going to rejoin in front of Hamilton, our championship rival. That's always good news. So the strategy is working out so far. We're able to hit our targets in terms of race stints, but now cutting to lap 25. We've got some of the leaders coming in for their stops. Massa, Hülkenberg, Vettel all coming in for their stops. And I believe that most of these guys are all running primes for the majority of this race, so they're running with the slower tyre. So that allows us to be a little bit quicker over the course of the race. And now coming through to the third sector now, we go around the outside of Rosberg for P3 and into the podium positions, going purple all the while during making that overtake, and I'm pretty happy with that. We've got Sergio Pérez up in second now in that McLaren, definitely overperforming in his lackluster McLaren. But here we are on lap 33, coming in for our penultimate pit stop now, going for a set of primes on this stint. I've decided to go for the primes on this penultimate stint because I want to run with the options for the final stint just in case I need to defend, so I can just have the faster tyre then. But we're going to rejoin sort of around the top 5, I hope. And here we go, pit stop is 3.1 seconds. I think it's quite clear that the pit stops on this game are very much scripted, which is a bit unfortunate. But anyway, rejoining on the track, P6, maybe P7. We've got Grosjean behind us, but he's a long way back. So we've rejoined in pretty much clear air if you exclude Hülkenberg, who is right in front of us. So he's on much older prime tyres, and we're going to try and pass him, maybe with the DRS on this lap. So hopefully Hülkenberg can sort of leapfrog us onto the back of Sebastian Vettel, who is only a second or two up the road. And it looks like there's a Borussia as well, just a little bit further up the road as well. He gets out of the way fairly well. So thanks to you, Chilton, for leaving the space, something Alonso didn't do in the previous race. But we won't get onto that. Going around the outside of Hülkenberg now. We've done this move a couple times in this Grand Prix already, and we've done it again to the German in that Sauber. I really do feel sorry for him there. As we can see on the replay there, he's just got nothing to fight with on his much older tyres. And Hulk is going to drop back a little bit further in this Grand Prix. But cutting to lap 35 now, and Vettel is zigzagging all over the track as we try to go up the inside into the third sector. Job done as we go purple as well. So the last few minutes of this Grand Prix have been absolutely fantastic for us. Absolutely flying through this field now as we catch up to the back of Perez, going purple on the previous lap. And we're going to try and think about maybe a DRS pass on the straight here. Or no, are we going to go up the inside into the hairpin like we did to Vettel? We don't quite have the drive traction or the rear traction that we had early on in the race when we passed Vettel. But Perez here puts up a decent fight, but it's no match. We have the DRS and KERS to use. And there we go into second place. We've got Fernando Alonso now in second now as we cut to lap 43. We're coming in for our final pit stop now, putting on the option tyres, and it should be a fairly easy 11 lap stint to the very end I'm hoping that the tyre wear doesn't, get any worse. The marbles have been slowly building up over the course of this Grand Prix, so that's been sort of affecting tyre wear gradually over the course of this race. The air temperature, track temperature, and everything else has been rapidly decreasing in the last few laps, so that should help tyre wear as well. So fingers crossed we can have a nice and easy run to the checkered flag here, but we need to pass Sebastian Vettel and Felipe Massa, who now leads the Grand Prix. So it's going to be a bit of a task to pass those guys, as they have a fairly decent lead over me, so it's going to take a while to catch up to those guys. But now cutting to lap 50, and we've lost our DRS. That is absolutely perfect timing as I catch up to the back of Vettel. As you can see, I'm clearly frustrated, but going up the inside into the chicane, we give Vettel a touch, but we completely back out of it so that Vettel can keep his position and maintain his advantage over us in this Grand Prix. But here we are, lap 51, we've caught up to the back of Vettel again, and De Resta is now starting to get in the way of Vettel. We go up the inside into the left-hander. Vettel runs out wide and gives us that position. As you see on the replay here, there was absolutely no contact between myself and Vettel. As we slow it right down, I lose the back end ever so slightly, but Vettel just completely runs himself out of road there and gives up second place in this Grand Prix. So now we've got pretty much a clear run to attack Massa, but now our teammate is getting in the way here. It's a bit of a Force India affair. De Resta clearly is not happy about getting lapped here by his teammate, but he'll have to deal with it for another couple of races here, as we now cut to the final lap now, and we've got Fernando Alonso, who's now got in front of Vettel, and we're going to have to try and defend as much as we can. It's the final lap now. We just got to throw everything at this straight here. Even if we're going to run out of fuel, we need to just maintain that track position coming into the chicane now, and we're still going side by side with Alonso. He's got the move done, has he? Trying to hold around the outside, and then he gives it up. In the when you thought he had the position done, he just gave it up, and now we have second place done again. Vettel tries to go around the outside of Alonso. We're going to see how that works out in just a couple corners time. But now we just need to calm things down, try and settle down that rear end, just get this thing to the end of this race. Massa takes this Grand Prix victory here in Abu Dhabi, but it's not over for second place just yet. We're trying to hold off Fernando Alonso as we come through the final couple of corners, and we might just about do it here in Abu Dhabi. Another podium and another step closer to that championship.
Race, just fantastic. 18 points.
So there we have it. We finished in second place from Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso. A double Ferrari podium here in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton has a nice comeback drive to finish in fifth after he was outside the points the early phases of the Grand Prix. So too alongside Mark Webber. Looks like Daniel Ricciardo has a 10-second penalty for some reason. De Resta in 18th, Max Chilton in last.
You're still second in the Drivers' Championship.
And we're still in second in the Drivers' standings. So we've clawed back 8 points from Lewis Hamilton in the standings. We pretty much need to do more of the same in the last two races to get this championship win. We sort of have the edge over Hamilton at the moment. It seems like his form has dipped in the last couple of races, so you never know what might happen in the next two Grand Prix. But there we go in the Constructors. Force India is tucked in nicely in fourth place, so I don't think we'll be losing that spot in the Constructors standings. But that's been the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for today, until the penultimate race of the championship in America. I'll see you guys next time.